All right, here we are in another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies. I can't do those high notes.
Oh, well, that wasn't bad. That'll work.
Good morning, Peter.
Morning, Bell, and everybody.
Here we are, episode number 374. 374.
Mm-hmm.
The name of today's episode is clear my throat. Stop. Don't try to do creative real estate deals until you reveal these barriers today. Here's the description. Welcome to one of the best podcasts in creative real estate.
That's right.
Should I just end there?
Yeah, just go listen to the other 374 and call us.
There you go. If you are ready for a wild ride into some newly discovered obvious secrets that is holding back about 95% of all real estate entrepreneurs since COVID-19, you are in the exact perfect place right now. This single episode is meticulously crafted to pique your curiosity and provoke your thoughts on why you haven't done your first deal or aren't doing more deals using creative financing, so you can be that person everyone else talks about when it comes to snagging all the good deals in your area. Well, that's exciting. We are going to pull back the curtain to reveal some simple mistakes most are making when trying to land deals today. Plus, we are going to do what no one else is doing. And super important, talk about the tricky world of automation. When it works for you and when it works against you. So, if you're ready to become a real estate maestro or very skilled, you can't afford to miss 1 second of this podcast. Hit play now and let's start the journey together of you becoming a creative real estate wizard.
I like that. Wizard behind the curtain. I like that.
You know, it just occurred to me that it doesn't look like we are live streaming today.
Oh. I see recording, but you don't see it connected to the platforms?
Yeah.
And
the fact that you didn't have a link. Well, I know I did it. So anyways, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. So let's do our housekeeping, Pita. So wherever you are listening to us or watching us, there is a link in the description that will help you with today's episode. It's the implementation portion of what we are explaining to you. Okay. Also, we record every Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to join us on the podcast and ask us questions while we are recording, you can go to Facebook, you can go to YouTube, and you can go to LinkedIn. And wherever this video is, right below it is a place for the comments, and you could put comments there. I get them right on my screen. I will only answer the questions pertaining to the podcast because we are in a timed segment. But if you have other questions, you can do one or two things. You can go to WhatsApp Messenger and look for our group, our mastermind group, which is free, called Let's Talk Real Estate. Or you can go to flippinghousesforrookies.com. On the top right-hand side, there's a link that's a support ticket, and those go directly to me. And if you have a question for Peter and I, just send me a support ticket, and we'll make sure we answer you. One of us will answer you. Okay? So with that said, here we go. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. So welcome, trailblazers and pioneers of creative real estate world. And I use those words not loosely. Welcome, trailblazers and pioneers of the creative real estate world. Because I feel like that's how we are right now, Peter.
Well, you say something for years, like this isn't new, right? It's been around for a long time.
Right.
And my old mechanic, who was a broker, did this stuff, not as fancy as we do in the old days, but it's not known. So we're still pioneers.
Yeah. I meant because the landscape of real estate has significantly, all the rules, all the usuals, all the successful actions, and I mean all, I'm not generalizing, I mean just about every single one of them have changed since COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
The landscape has shifted. Things that never thought could be done. And the biggest thing that I will tell you, the biggest thing, and it's kind of hard to wrap your arms around it because it's happening while you're doing it. So you can't always see it because extrapolation means taking the past and predicting the future.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you don't have a past to predict, you can't extrapolate, so you kind of have to create the past as you're going because it's completely new. It's not normal stuff. It's not like you can go back 20 years and look at what everybody's doing and change it. Because in the last year or two, everything's changed.
Yeah.
On top of that, we have an administration that is 1,000% trying to make us social. And, to me, it's communism. And I know I'll get support tickets on that, but it's pure communism. And if it's not, it's heading that way, which means the state owns everything. Okay. Yeah. And it's just that combination of those two things. Tax laws are changing and how we acquire property is changing. And I'm telling you right now, the realtor system is done. They don't even know it. They have no clue it's even happening to them because 40% of transactions nowadays are done without realtors. They don't even know that. A realtor's job is to make sure they find a buyer. That's their job. So if sellers can find buyers without realtors, then it changes the whole landscape. And nowadays, there's so many of us and so many people that have so much money that the realtors are getting cut out and don't even realize it. And then they come up with all these stories about how there's a shortage of houses and how construction in the 50s wasn't strong enough and we've been behind on building houses. And then on top of all of that, Peter.
Yes.
We have 9,000 immigrants coming into our country a day. 9,000 immigrants coming in a day. New York City is bombed. They have no place to put these people. So if you think that these are not factors in real estate, get your head out of the sand because it is. Things have changed. Now maybe they change again, but for right now, they are not easy challenges.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So we've been pioneers and we're still pioneers because we're maybe in Missouri, but we got half a continent to go, and I don't think we'll ever get to the end. Yeah. I'm an educator, musician, and music doesn't change. It's the same music. It's modified. It's twisted a little. It's the same. This industry drives me bananas because I can't keep up with it. It's like I'm always chasing you to like, okay, now what do we do? This morphing and do what used to work and continue that. Like, no, it's not the same, Right. So the one thing I learned business-wise is, quote, to stay in present time. Like right now, what's going on? Doesn't matter. Like, I don't know, the car was working good yesterday. Who cares? That was yesterday. What's going on today? So lead on, brave leader.
So as we delve into today's conversation, you will soon see how I spotted some core basics that 95% of us are doing wrong and did not even know it, including me. And including, I can tell you right now, I could go through the gamut of gurus and they are not, they're making the same mistakes. They haven't figured this out. They're not doing it the right way. So today's journey is made of an exploration into some very powerful revelations and hopefully a new beacon of light into the dense fog of the most obvious unknown in my career of creative real estate. As we peel back the corners today, you should start to reveal for yourself the obvious secrets right under your nose that have held 95% or more of us back from doing deals. Although they may seem simple, please don't mistake the power of each one. Yet profound, obvious, and yet even overlooked patterns in this very, very lucrative business. And today I'm going to bring these hidden monsters into the light. So we can transform our real estate endeavors, not to just stay a step ahead, but to make quantum leaps after today. So fasten your seatbelt, because here we go. I really set up a big promise for myself, huh? You're laughing at me?
I am. You better deliver, buddy. Them very strong words.
I've not delivered yet, so here we go.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, so we're going to start with the basics first. Okay. Remember, simplicity is not to be ignored. Here we go. Words matter.
Yep.
They affect the way we think. How we think affects what we do. Words matter. They affect the way we think. How we think affects what we do. Which means if we have the words wrong, we will think the wrong way. And probably do the wrong stuff. And wonder why our results are insufficient. If you don't put attention on words and make them matter and go through what you need to go through to make sure you understand the words, you won't think right. And if you don't think right, you won't act right. That's the entire business. There are so many alterations and confusions and misunderstoods in this business. No wonder why so many of us act differently. Next is what happened. So with this concept that words matter, right? And they affect the way we think, and the way we think affects what we do, we come down to one word. A lead. That's two words. What is a lead? So many ask me about farm markets because they want what good leads that brings good deals. So it's not the farm market they're looking for, especially Creative REI Replay. Like, where should I go, Bill? What's a good farm market? What they're really asking me is what's a good lead and where can I find them?
Yeah.
Right? Well, watch this. What is a lead defined? A lead is a person you can contact. That's all. A lead is a person you can contact.
Hey, you know what I just thought? Because you said that? It might lead you somewhere.
Oh, boy.
God, you like that, though. It might lead you somewhere. You're not there yet, but it might. At least you got a starting point. It's like when you go to MapQuest. Where are you going? I want to go over there. Where are you right now? I'm right here. You got to start somewhere. Better than nothing. better than not having anybody to talk to. But you're right. It's someone to talk to that might.
No, it's not talk to. I didn't say talk to.
No,
contact.
Contact, right. Contact.
A lead is a person you can contact. What does can mean?
It's possible. Doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Right.
I've got people that try to contact me and then don't answer me in different things. You know, they just, I thought you want to talk to me, and they never call back. So, yeah, you can contact them.
So if you bought an email list, you have leads. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. If someone fills out a form on your website, you have a lead. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Databases have leads. Databases. What's a database? Well, you buy a foreclosure list.
Yeah.
You buy a probate list. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. Right? Now wait a minute. Whoa.
What?
So it means a person you can contact. So if I buy a probate list, how do I know that it's not 2 years old? If I buy a probate list, how do I know that it's not 3 years old? If I buy a list expecting to buy a house, how do I know a vast majority of people on that list haven't sold the house?
Yeah.
So you scrape the internet or get a list from a place like PropStream or Property Radar, even Batch, Skip, Trace. You know, they sell leads.
Oh.
You have leads.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Sure.
Here's the revelation. Here's the punchline. These leads suck. These leads suck. They are not what we need. Right? Yet we hunt them down and feel as though this is going to crack our business wide open and fill our pockets. We're going to walk around with mountains of money in our pockets, and we're going to have freedom, and we're going to name our days. I'm going to do this today, and I'm going to do that, and to hell with the world, because I have my freedom. I got leads, and I could tap into them, and I could get people to talk to me, and I could do this, and I'm going to get more deals because I just spent $4,000 to buy all these leads, and I'm going to contact them. Watch how rich I'm not going to get.
Yeah.
Watch how much work I'm going to get that I don't need. Watch how this is going to ruin my life, because these leads suck. Because having leads isn't enough. What we really need and want are engaged leads. We really need and want engaged leads. And engage, to me, the word engage means other people who we could contact and show interest in what we have to offer. Or more to the point, they show interest in being flexible on how they're going to receive the money for their house that they're selling. An engaged lead is someone who is willing to talk about that flexibility, who is willing to have a two-way communication. Well, my idea is this, Peter. And then Peter says, well, my idea is that, Bill. And you go back and forth until you come to a conclusion of what can be done. But here's the point. You have the opportunity to share your ideas. You have the opportunity to talk to the seller and actually find out what their situation is. They're willing to consider your proposal, right? We're presenting them because it will actually help them.
Mm-hmm.
We want engaged leads.
Yeah.
We don't want leads. We want engaged leads. In other words, you should think to yourself every single time you talk to somebody that before you talk to somebody, you should write this, put it on your wall, and you should read it to yourself before you speak to any person about a house. Read this to yourself every single time. Who can I help that will think I'm a hero if I actually do what I tell them I'm going to do? Who can I help that will actually think I will be a hero if I do what I say I'm going to do? You should write that down. And before you talk to anybody, you should cite that to yourself. You should read it and meld it into your mind before you dial any phone number. I wonder if this is going to be the person that I could help that would think I'm a hero if I do what I say I'm going to do. Engaged leads are your true success. And technically, they're the end result of any advertising campaign.
Mm-hmm.
What's the purpose of advertising? So you tell me, Peter, behind the scenes, and sometimes you talk about it here about your guitar lessons and how you're telling me music doesn't change. Well, you're full of crap. Because the truth of the matter is, for the last 2 or 3 months, you're telling me how things are so much different now in the music industry. Because you used to use platforms and you used to just pay this money, $25, $100, whatever you would pay, and you would get leads.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're not. So your advertising sucks because it's not growing your engaged leads.
Yeah, and that what I'm saying is the music itself, the science of the music doesn't change. But what happens with it, those things can change. I don't have to learn music again. But lately, things have significantly improved. So whatever I did, it's finally working again. But you have to find the people who are good leads and will talk to you. I still have people that contact and then don't respond. That'll always be the case. But the percentage of people who do and show up is markedly better. So something is improving, at least in this zone, whatever that is. It's another story.
Okay, so in real estate, in creative real estate specifically, we need to pre-qualify who's going to engage and who's not going to engage.
Yeah,
that's what I call a prospect is a person that's going to engage, and a suspect is a person who is not willing to engage on talking about flexibility and how they're going to get paid for the property.
Yeah, flexible is real important. You should say that a lot more than lately. I haven't heard you say that in a while, but that's totally it, the flexibility.
So here's what happens. You don't whack them. I always say whack the suspects. I need to clarify what I mean by whack the suspects.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean is that they need to go into the follow-up system so we can cultivate them to be engaged.
Okay.
Why do you think the follow-up system works so well? Why do you think we get almost 40% of our deals from follow-up? Because they're engaged leads. We converted them from a lead, which is someone we can talk to an engaged lead.
They became more flexible somehow.
Well, time does that. Time changes their flexibility.
Yeah.
Right? The longer they have a house for sale, the more flexible they become.
Yeah, maybe they better start listening to somebody else, huh?
Right.
Their plan isn't working so hot.
So people who give their time and listen to you, consider your ideas, and think you are helping them will do deals with you. They need to be engaged. Too many people think they're going to say a magic sentence and something's going to trigger and they're going to be like, okay, I'll sell you the house. Mm-hmm. No. What actually sells houses and gets you deals is being engaged. A lot of people say this is a relationship. It's not even a relationship. It is not a relationship. It is to some degree. But relationship is too broad, and it's connected to sex and marriage and all the bad things that people go through in their life. relationships is not a good word, right? Because you have more bad relationships than good relationships in most people, right? You go to the store and the little teenager behind the counter pisses you off. That's a bad relationship, right? You call customer service and somebody doesn't help you. That's a bad relationship. I mean, think about all the bad relationships you've had, right? I'm talking about engaged. They're interested in you, just like you're interested in them. You're swapping interest. Okay. Now, next. I made my point about the engaged leads. I'm not done, but I'm going to make a few other points here. Next, in podcast number 372, how to meet creative real estate sellers properly, we gave a new discovery on why you stop using automation and start talking to sellers. And the big reveal there is we use automation to find or convert leads into engaged leads. So we're using AI in most cases, or we're using automation to keep all the crappy, sucky people out of our head. The only reason why someone can talk to us is because they passed the litmus test of they could be engaged or want to be engaged. And believe it or not, especially in Creative REI Reply, we have trained our robots to do just that. The only ones that get through the pearly gates and get an appointment with us are ones that have shown interest and have actually answered questions correctly. Why do you need to talk to all the rest? They're just leads. They suck. They are just leads. They are a waste of your time. They are leads. Just because somebody wants to sell a house doesn't mean you need to talk to them. Because 97% of all sellers will not want to talk about flexible terms or talk about taking monthly payments or taking a discount. They want their full price. They want it their way or the highway.
And they want it now.
Right. So think about this, Peter. I'm gonna go off on a tangent for about 3 minutes here. Okay. If this is not important, then why in the 1950s and the 1960s, Burger King exploded around the country by saying, have it your way? That means McDonald's didn't allow flexibility.
Wow.
And there was a whole marketing campaign to have it your way.
McDonald's was too automated then, weren't they?
Yeah.
They wouldn't. No, you get the pickles, you get the mustard, you get the ketchup, you get the onions. That's it. Don't ask any questions. Wow. Not flexible.
So if I wanted to make an analogy, which is a cockeyed analogy, McDonald's is the realtor system and Burger King is the creative real estate system.
Yeah. They featured automation to the point that we can't change anything. We have to have high volume. The hamburger's got to roll off the assembly line. You can't change anything. But, there's people at the other end eating the damn thing. You have to have some. So, yay, Burger King.
Once your sellers show signs of engagement, okay? Once they show signs of engagement, they go from automation to human interaction.
Yep.
Done this way, we remove all the rudeness, impoliteness, and actually find people that want to talk to us about a solution.
So what you said, rudeness? What was the other one? Rudeness and what?
Rudeness, impoliteness.
Yeah.
And actually find people that want to talk to us.
Yeah. Well, it does seem rude when an AI doesn't answer something really exactly correctly, because it's an AI, it's not a person.
Right.
So it would seem rude.
But what our AI does, okay, just to let the secret out, what our AI does, and we talk about this in podcast number 372.
Mm-hmm.
You were the one that corrected me because I thought it was 2 points, but it was actually 3 points. Here's a good rule of thumb of what automation should do.
Mm-hmm.
1, it should find out if the house is for sale. 2, do they want an offer? 3, when can we talk? Is the house for sale? No, I sold it last week. You're done.
Yep. Congratulations.
Those are the people that tell you to go F off. Those are the people that are rude because they're cocky, because they're in the driver's seat. I don't need you, buddy. Get out of my face.
Don't waste my time.
Do they want an offer? How many people you know, Peter, that have had houses that don't want offers?
Yeah. You wouldn't think it. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So ask them, do they want an offer? That is an engaging question. Do they want to be engaged? Do they want an offer? If they say yes, they want to engage.
And you should do that before you just say, here's your offer. Like, well, what if they don't want it?
The automation does this for you. If your automation goes through those 3 questions, and not just ask the questions, you got to kind of go at it 2 or 3 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will find out if you have somebody worth speaking to. Okay. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. It's very, very clear. It follows what I've been trying to do lately, which is if I'm talking to somebody about anything that goes in steps, next step, I'm trying to think, what's the very next step that this person wants to do? It may not be what I want to do, but where's their head stuck? And if I say that, they will talk to me. If I jump ahead, they're not going to. I lose them.
Right.
So the way you detail the steps there would be a natural sequence. Is the house for sale? Do they want an offer? Well, Can we talk about it? Look at the tiny increments to that. But it's what you would need to have somebody just like inch by inch respond positively to stay engaged. Right. It's really smart.
Yeah, stay engaged is, we're going to elaborate, because stay engaged is what's important.
All right, yeah, so you say the wrong thing, you lose them right just like that if you're not smart about it.
Okay, the next obvious realization on my journey.
Mm-hmm.
You did a lot of work, or at least thinking, to sort out this lead and get them to raise their hand and show they are interested, which is, by the way, asking the questions like we just spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
And when they answer questions, or if they ask questions, if they start asking questions, that's your tripwire. You go from automation right to human.
Yep.
But here's my point. Don't give crappy, sucky offers to the seller. That provokes them thinking you suck and have crappy offers, because what they're doing is they're doing association. They're associating you with that wholesaler that offered them $90,000 for their $200,000 house. Nobody wants you to buy their house. Nobody wants you to buy their house. When you first start with somebody, they do not come to the phone conversation for you to buy their house. They want an offer. They want your proposal. They want to make sure you're close. If they got a $200,000 house, they want to make sure you're not $100,000. They don't want that. They want to hear that you're 190 maybe, and they can bring you up to 200.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So if you dance around, right, and don't give a good, positive, attention-getting offer. So you spend all this time, all this money, getting them from the big bucket of crappy leads into, hey, I'm interested. And you start your offer off sucky and crappy. Where are you at?
The end of the conversation, that's for sure.
And in podcast number 370, Realtors beware. They aren't going to like this new creative strategy. We go over in this podcast how we give a Grand Slam offer, which is why we invented it.
Mm.
A Grand Slam offer is an attention getter. And why you give that first, right? Mm. In summary, we give these offers by using simple math that compares the cash deal to a terms deal. For example, first of all, let me go over this. The script says, do you have a house for sale? Yes. What names are on the deed? Whose names are on the deed? And they tell you. How much are you asking for the house? $200,000. Oh, $200,000. Well, the only way I could pay $200,000 is if I give you monthly payments until I can pay it off without the landlord obligations. Is that something we could talk about? No, I want all cash. 95% of all creative entrepreneurs stop there. They don't know what to say.
Yep.
The Grand Slam offer says, oh, I'm sorry, I can give you up to $282,000 for that property. You're not interested in that? Bam! We just got their attention. I can give you, wait a minute, I don't understand. I can give you up to $282,000 for that $200,000 property. You're saying you don't want, it's too hard for them to say no. They can't resist it. They would feel foolish. They're at least curious.
Right? Yeah, they're like, what's this scam? At first, it's hard to believe, but it's true.
See, most people are lazy and aren't good with math. So you have to do the math for them. Otherwise, their ignorance of the transaction blocks all knowledge. And they don't even know it.
Yeah.
Let me see what my notes are here, because I have a few things I want to say and I want to make sure I'm on cue here. All right, good. So, all right, now we have hit even plane. We're up to a point where we can start talking about what we're supposed to be talking about today. Right?
Oh.
Now, I want to reveal the hidden, obvious, most telling mistake about 95% of us. But first realize your skill or my skill is not what closes deals. Your skill or even my skill is not what closes deals. But here's the problem. Until now, you didn't know this. First, you need resources like PropStream or Property Radar, Batch Leads, hell, even Zillow to get these leads. So you have to have some software or multiple softwares to get the leads.
Sure.
Then once you get those leads, you need you need a process of locating a person a person's whereabouts.
Hmm.
So you can contact them. In other words, you need to skip trace them. So now you have one software that you have to pay for to get good data, or multiple softwares so you can get a list. Now you get the list and you have to put like contact information to it, because those lists don't give it to you. You got to get their phone number, their email, their social media, whatever you can get, because what is the definition of a lead?
Someone you can contact. And unless you're going to drive up to the address on the list and knock on the door, you better have those contact points of the phone, the email.
So when you download a list from PropStream, we'll say,
yeah,
do you have a lead?
No. You got an address.
See where this is coming together. So what did I say in the beginning of the podcast? What was the very first thing I said?
I don't know. You said a lot of things.
Okay, good.
We're looking for somebody you can contact, a lead.
Words matter.
Words matter.
They affect the way you think. How you think affects what you do.
Yeah.
So how many people think they went to PropStream and downloaded a list of 5,000 names and think they have a lead?
Yeah, now what?
They don't have a lead because they can't contact them.
Mm-hmm.
They had the wrong understanding of the word lead. And it affects what they're doing or not doing. So now you download, you pay PropStream or Property Radar. We'll say it's $100 a month. Now you need to go skip trace these people. Right?
And what does that cost?
15 to 20 cents.
Each.
Oh yeah, by the way, you could get it done for 10 cents, but we have, other than Skip Trace Butler, who's our partner, who charges 10 cents. Other than that, we have found that the 10-cent leads, especially the PropStream Skip Trace leads, do not give us good engagement. In other words, they're the wrong phone numbers. Because how do you know you have a good skip trace company? You have a good skip trace company because when you start texting people, you start getting engagement. If you have low engagement, the skip trace company sucks. See how the thinking, words matter.
Yeah.
You need to understand what is a lead and what is an engaged lead, because it affects what you're going to do. It affects the way you're going to think and what you're going to do. See how important this is?
Wrong name, wrong number. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know the property. That's all bad skip tracing.
Yeah, but you don't have to know all that. All you have to do is take a look at, if you skip trace a list and you put it in some software and you text people and your engagement is low, you probably got a shitty skip trace company.
But isn't that just wrong data, or too old? Could be a few things.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well,
change skip trace companies.
That's what I'm saying. You have to do something to fix it. So
the bottom line is you outflowed and your inflow was low.
Yeah.
So change. Now, if it happens with two skip trace companies, then your list is probably bad.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh man.
See, words matter. Words are the way we think, and if you're thinking wrong, your actions will be wrong. See, that's why these words matter, because look what we're on. Look, just by one word, leads. Look what we've unraveled.
Yeah, you get the list of 10,000 names, you think they're leads, and they're not even leads. You get them skip trace, you think you got leads, and they're not leads.
Until they're engaged, because you want engaged leads. But as we already spoke of, we don't really need leads. We need engaged leads, which means now we need another software like text. We use Text Magic, and there's millions. Or any one of the millions of the other ones out there, to send a message to see if these leads can be engaged. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, let's back up. So I had to have a software to get the list. Yep. Then I had to skip trace them. That's another software. Then I have to have a software to be able to outflow with, to see if the leads are going to be engaged. Then the next problem arises. We need another piece of software to keep track of who contacted us. Their answers, what did they say? And of course, the follow-up, which is 35 to 40% of our deals, how are we going to keep track of the people that engaged with us and keep dripping on them? Because all of our attention should be on the people that originally we were engaged with, that we didn't do a deal with, and we keep dripping on them because they were engaged with us, and we want to continue to engage with them because they are the most likely to do a deal with us. Why are we looking for more leads? We have an engaged lead already, so we just need to put them in a follow-up system. So how are we going to do all of this? Now, wait a minute. Whoa. Let's do this again. We need a software to get the list. We need a software to skip trace. We need a software to disseminate to or outflow to. Now we need a software to keep track of all the communication coming back, the engaged leads, so we can keep engaging with them and keep track of what they're saying and how they're saying it. Is this making sense?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, anyone doing all of this manually, which is about 95% of us, is wasting all of their time on the administration work, not the $500 an hour work of talking to sellers. How many people work a job, come home at night, have dinner with the wife and kids or the husband and kids or whatever, however it is, and then they disappear into their little nest egg burrow? And they think they're doing real estate because they're downloading lists, they're skip tracing them, they're uploading them to a software, they're texting them, and either they're trying to handle the text themselves or they're trying to manage VAs. I'm sorry, but that could take all freaking week. And nothing happened. Nothing happened. We haven't gotten to the point where we can have a human interaction and actually give the seller our proposal and have the seller give us their proposal back, and we can meet in the middle. Because here's what happens next, Peter. You have all these softwares. You have to hook them together now.
Oh, boy.
Because if you don't hook them together, you're going to pull your hair out doing these manual tasks, these minuscule little manual tasks. And oh, yeah, by the way, they break. Links break. You forget a step. You have your attention on the boss yelling at you today, or your wife saying something, or your husband saying something, or you got to go to a birthday party, so you got to get it done, so you're rushing. So you got to take it from being manual to being automatic. Because if it's automatic, it will help you find engaged leads. Right? So the automatic or the automaticity is put there to pre-qualify, like we spoke of, your leads to find out if they're pre-qualified into being an engaged lead. So you can talk to them. I'm going to tell you right now, most don't get this far.
It's a lot.
In the system, right? Because finding and hooking up all these pieces and parts, okay, listen to me carefully. Because finding and hooking up all these pieces and parts is like going to the auto parts store, buying all the parts of a car, having to put them together so you can drive to work and get paid. Ludicrous, right? And we wonder why we're not making deals. And we wonder why people are not getting creative real estate deals done. and why we keep getting into these ruts. And me as a coach and me as a information provider wonder, why don't people do it? You think there's something wrong with this? I have a question for you. Are we software engineers?
Speaking for myself, I could definitely say no, and it's a small miracle that I've come this far and actually have some idea what to do with some of these things, but I can't do that.
Right.
I can do some of the parts now, but oh my God. I started even with you with paper.
Yep.
You know, there was computers, there was some things online, but it was still just in the last few years, it's changed incredibly. I was in business before people had computers. Right. You know, there was no computers. It was all paper and baskets and leads around. Oh, in other businesses too. It's amazing how far we've come, but how do we keep up and use it? Yep. It's too much. Well, thanks for joining us today, folks.
So even me, I needed a tech team to do it.
Yeah.
And it took me years and tens of thousands of dollars to make something like this for me and my business so I can have consistent income. My income didn't become consistent until that happened. And even now, it's still a little rickety at times. Right? And here's the bad news, Peter. You need to have multiple marketing campaigns, like multiple marketing. You can't just have one marketing campaign.
Yeah.
You have to have multiple marketing campaigns. You can't just talk to 1 or 2 or 3 sellers a week or a month. You should be talking to 4 or 5 sellers a day, sometimes 10 or 12 sellers a day. And I don't mean you personally, I mean your automation. Because what you need is a volume of engaged leads to flourish and prosper. 1 or 2 campaigns won't help you get consistent income. Just a few texts here and there is not enough. These are just the cold, hard facts.
Yep. It's like the farmer going out in the field and taking a dozen seeds and throwing them. Maybe 2 will stick, and maybe 1 will survive the animals and the bugs.
Right.
Not really. You got to plant a lot to get some.
This is the story of my life until now. And it turned out to be the most amazing thing that ever happened to me. Mostly because my partners and I made a software called Creative REI Replay that will actually put done for you leads into your account every day, already skipped. Text everyone with excellent text campaigns that are proven because they get people to engage. And perfect campaigns so we can easily find our engaged leads. Right? Then once they answer our texts, or we have AI figure out who we need an appointment with, then set the appointment for us. So all we need to do is call or talk to our engaged leads. And of course, we have scripts. We have a creative real estate calculator, so we can give season perfect offers with just a few numbers on the fly. And once we get a deal, we just follow the deal checklist so we don't miss anything. Plus, our automation even does all the paperwork. So you can actually be a legally expert lawyer for creative real estate. And then if all that doesn't work, once a week, we do an hour to 90-minute support call on Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we actually help you with your deal structures or your system problems. We allow multiple onboarding calls. How many software companies you know do that? The owners, the developers, the people that created the software are on the support calls. How much do you think my time is worth? To be on a call once a week to coach people? It's free coaching. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To structure deals. Have a Facebook group. We have a support system that our support. I've never ever been part of a group and had so many people send in testimonials about our support system.
Yeah, I noticed a difference from the very, very first week, like that it was different. And somehow, you know how you get people on the phone that are just annoying?
Yep.
I had to talk to the IRS yesterday. He was trying, but he wouldn't answer questions like, where's my refund? Why is it taking 7 months? Oh, Jesus. And it's just annoying. But with this, it's like pleasant and you never feel like you're stupid. They help you with everything. It's just absolutely different. And I'm still not sure how it happened, but it's there. And I am fussy.
Yep.
Because I know good communication. I know educationally good help. I'm like impressed.
Yep.
That's not easy.
Yep.
I can be tolerant, but this is like.
How many software companies they do an onboarding call with you? One onboarding call. What does onboarding mean?
Well, that's going over the system and making sure it's working right and how all the parts are working. Yeah, that's my guess. You got one? Yeah.
I'm going to look it up.
I didn't look that one up. I heard it so much. I've done a number of these with the company myself, and it's very helpful.
So onboarding refers to the process in which new hires are integrated into the organization. It includes activities that allow new employees to complete an initial new hire orientation process, as well as learn about the organization and its structure, culture, vision, mission, and values.
So that's pretty general. Now we're speaking more specifically with the software use.
But that's what my point is. My point is onboarding, software onboarding is like, here is everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, we know that's not going to happen, right? So think of it this way. So onboarding is the process in which new hires integrate into the organization. What does integrate mean?
Well, you know how you fit in with it, how to use it, what your job is, what their job is, so everything can flow properly.
Very often we can't do that in an hour or 45 minutes, which is why we allow unlimited onboardings, because you're not onboarded until you get what? Engaged leads to talk to.
Oh, until the whole thing's work. Yeah, you just keep doing it until it works. You keep adjusting and fixing and modifying and making sure you're doing it right. It's set up the way you need, all those details.
Words matter. Yeah. They affect the way you think, and how we think affects what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So onboarding means, to me, you're done with your onboarding when you're getting engaged leads that you could speak to and make offers to.
Boy, if that isn't satisfaction guaranteed. You know,
words matter.
I have a music company that it's national. You buy stuff from. They call you once in a while and see how you're doing. How's the stuff you bought? You need anything? No? Great. Let me know. That's the only one that does that. And it's incredible. You don't see that often. And that's not complicated. There's no software involved. But it's just to have that kind of customer service. But imagine having that with the actual technology and the software and how it's used and adjusting your own system for what you're trying to do. That's nuts.
In final, another analogy. Yeah. Imagine you are a doctor.
Okay.
You're a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
A doctor. Words matter. You're a doctor. So what does that mean? Do you have a hospital? Do you have an office? So a doctor has to go set up his own practice. He's got to get a space. He's got to buy equipment. He's got to get phone lines. He's got to advertise. All that stuff is not being a doctor.
That's right.
Can he be a doctor without all his stuff? Can he be a doctor without an x-ray machine? Can he be a doctor without having anesthesiology, an anesthesiologist putting you out so he can do an operation? Can a dentist be a dentist without a dentist chair and his picks and his... They have to put all that stuff together.
Yeah, and the staff and the secretary and the computers and the phone calls and the scheduling, all the administrative stuff that they actually never learn. Just don't say anything. They don't learn that.
And the dentist school did not teach them how to do that.
No, I don't learn that.
But it's a lot easier for a doctor because you can go to another dentist or another doctor and say, hey, where can you buy an x-ray machine? And creative real estate, it's not like that. It's too scattered because there are too many people that don't understand words, think differently, and do things wrong. And creative REI reply, and this is 1000% a pitch because it is the greatest good for the greatest number of people that use it, because everything is behind one login information. There is nothing like this on planet Earth. It never existed until we created it, and it's revolutionary. Evolutionary, all of it. It is something that has never happened before. And it is now possible to put everything under one roof and take care of 90% of all the crap you shouldn't be doing because it automates it and allows you within a week to focus on engaged leads that are flexible and want to hear your offer. And I don't care if you've never done it before because your skill doesn't matter. We even, as a bonus now, which is $1,000 bonus in the system, if you sign up now or if you sign up soon this month anyways, we give you the slot deal scripts and calculators and all the tools that go along with the slot deal so you could give not a sucky, crappy offer. You can get their attention.
Yeah, and that's a special calculator just for the slot deals, not the regular. Get the regular one.
That's not a deal calculator. No, it's just to show you how you can give somebody, how you can promise somebody $283,000 for $200,000. It shows you how to do it, and it gives you the script so you can show them it's not a scam because it's just pure math. And when you go over the math, they're like, "Oh, I never thought of it like that."
Yeah,
I didn't know. You know what? I didn't realize that. You're right. And you go from, I want all cash, right? A $200,000 house. Here's the comparative math deal. $200,000 house, all cash, 15% closing costs. They're going to get $170,000.
Yeah, but they're not going to get 170. If you ask them what the mortgage balance is, you find out that they're only getting, the last guy I was talking to, $27,000. That's all he's going to get.
Yeah, but my point is at the closing, you're going to get $170,000.
Yeah.
Your offer, your comparison offer is if you do a terms deal, like I'm showing you, a slot deal as we call it, a sandwich lease option, and let us do it for you. At the end of 3 years, you're going to get $283,000. It's all math. You don't have to. There's no skill involved. It's just math. And the slot deal, which we talked about the Grand Slam offer, which we talked about in episode 360 and 370, is not for sale right now. I think it's going to be pretty soon. Sean wants to sell it. It's only in Creative REI Reply or my coaching clients. And I will tell you that I'm going to have to release it because we are getting outrageous success stories with people that haven't done a deal for decades. And within the first week or two are doing deals. I have stories of one guy, 7 months, he's doing just slot deals in one of the most competitive markets on the planet, which is Dallas, Texas. He's made over $100,000 in 7 months. I had another guy, one of our coaching clients. He told me last night he's got 4 deals, 4 slot deals. We added it up, $96,000. He created them in the last 3 weeks. All he changed was using the script and the calculator. He changed nothing else. I have another girl. I can go on and on. I got another girl. She did her first deal. Been trying to do real estate for 10 years. She did her first deal, $28,000. I got another guy. He's got two slot deals and 1 subject to deal because of that script. I could just go on. I can just that's just a memory. I can go on for another 20 minutes because of it. And that's how I figured out what I just explained to you today. The cards are stacked against you. And I know we charge a little bit of money to get into Creative REI Replay, but how much is it costing you by not doing a deal? How much is it costing you by doing all that minutia, all that administration type work that has nothing to do with buying a deal if you can automate it? And we've automated it all. Thanks to Sean. Sean was the one that woke me up to this. I didn't believe it all at first, but I definitely had the vision of what I just told you. Have the leads come into your account, automatically skip trace, automatically put them into campaigns, automatic. I had all that in my head. You know that. I've been talking about this for a long time.
Well, you didn't make the system for our benefit. You made it for your benefit, so it would work for you. And then, hey, let's us use it now.
Right, exactly.
Really, this is all the problems that you had that was annoying you. Because I'd be on the other end trying to call people and do things on paper.
We have people that came into our system. Last thing I'm going to say, we have people that came into our system and actually brought their VAs, their virtual assistants, on the calls. We talked about it last night because we did a webinar last night, right? We talked about it last night. They either promoted their VAs to making offers for them because it's that easy, or they got rid of their VAs. Nobody in our system has a VA. The only ones that have VAs are the ones that are doing 5 and 8 deals a month. They have VAs.
Yeah.
Because they have them doing after acquisition stuff. But to get acquisitions, they didn't need the VAs. Because everything's automated. It is incredible. All right, good. So we're out of time. Thank you for all your support. Make sure you like us. Make sure you subscribe to us. Make sure you leave us a review. Make sure you check out the link in the description. And we are over and out for the week. Next podcast is podcast number 375. It is called, it's an extension of today, how to convert more deals easily in today's economy. So today we pre-screened them, but now we need to know how to convert them. And I'm going to talk about that next podcast.
Good.
Okay. Have a good week. Thanks for your support. Over and out.